And I can tell you right now, it's no real surprise what we've seen so far. Kennen and Draven.
Yeah, who would have guessed those two would be the first pick, the first bans for both teams. But we also do see the Caston coming in as well. Targeted extra. It seems to always be bent out against him nowadays. We saw how well it could actually be played earlier on with Alex Uch, and then Kale being banned on top of that. So Shushay going to be targeted with that ban, and then followed up with the Twisted Fate over to Extra, who played a phenomenal Twisted Fate against Gambit, and then of course the Thresh ban targeted at Mover.
Yep, and first pick coming in here, they didn't waste any time with locking straight on to that Jarvan.
See, that's an interesting thing for me because none of them have actually played Jarvan yet, if I remember correctly. And we don't actually know if Dexter can play him well in the jungle. I guess we're certainly going to find out in this game and see how well he can do. Because Jarvan's more of an impact player, I have to say, than Xin early on, because he has the ability to be very strong early with the ganks. He has the ability to dodge wards with that EQ combo. Not to mention that ultimate, which can really lock down the enemy team.
Yeah, we have seen basically Xin play coming out of Dexter up until now in the 1 week that obviously we've seen from him, so not much of a sample to go from there. But from Giants' side, at least another one of their top picks.
Yep, and that will most likely definitely be going over to Morden. He's I think the only Elise jungler we've seen so far in European LCS, and he does a pretty good job. But she's very scary in the jungle, and she is always also one of the champions that can be running top and middle. But you know, it's Giants. We always expect that to be there.
So what is the other pick coming in for this one? Rumble. And we've seen Rumble from them against Giant?
No, against Gambit yesterday.
Sorry?
Yeah, Semix played them actually in the bottom lane, if I remember correctly. Didn't do terribly, held his lane down quite well, and we'll see if he can pull that off yet again, because that is already kind of a scary lineup, having that double AP comp, depending on how Morton actually wants to build his Elise. We do have Shen open, obviously, as we are seeing that being hovered on the Dragonborns side right now. And Yamato Cannon, I mean, we don't know too much about him, because he's only been around for about a week, but he's been playing Rumble, Renekton, Zed, Elise. We might see a 5th champion come out of his pocket.
Yeah, obviously Yamato Cannon, he's been around for, well, forever, really, in different team, obviously, Team Solo, Mebdi's Minions. I'm wondering if Dragonborns are going to change to, like, Mebdi Bones at some point, if he gets his way, I'm sure. But the next picks coming in here are going to be Shen and Sona. Obviously, Shen still managing to get through.
Yeah, we was talking to Crip about that, actually, when we were on the announcement desk, and he was saying it's one of those controlled chaos picks you can get. Like, you know he's going to split push on you, but you can pretty much predict that's going to happen. You know, I was saying, like, why don't they ban him out? And he's like, well, we have Zed who can split push. You have, like, Kha'Zix who can be very volatile in team fights. You can't really predict how he's going to do. But as Shen, you can at least control that, and you can at least build accordingly. We do see Sona picked up as well, so that'll be going over to Mover. And I like that pickup so far. It really synergizes with the team pretty well. You have that Jarvan to lock them down, the Shen taunt if you want, and not to mention the Crescendo to follow that up.
So we've seen a Zyra Misfortune as picks 3 and 4 here for Giants. That Zyra, we've seen them do this before. Pick the Zyra fairly early on, and then move it, exchange it between the middle and the support player.
Yeah, we had actually Bavento play him yesterday, and we also have Exeter who played her against Fnatic in week 6. So it can really go anywhere, and that's what Giants have in their pocket, is the ability to do that, especially with the Elise. Since you know Morden can play it, and heavily plays it, that it could really be in any different lane. And also the Misfortune, Jim Bones, he played that yesterday. Did pretty well, to be honest. He had some really good play on her. He's finally shown that he can play a lot of other AD champions on top of that, and we'll see how well it does this game.
So we see Ari locked in there. Obviously, Ocelot had a hard time earlier on in the day playing his Ari. The Ezreal also picked up there by Hosan. Obviously, his Draven was taken out of things. No misfortune for him, obviously, as well, since that will be going over to Jim Bones. What are Giants going to complement here? Will they go with that Zyra in the middle with Extermin against an Ari, or will they change things up here last second?
Well, see, Zyra's gonna have a really tough time against Ari, because it's not really easy to play on those grass roots when they're level 6, and you have to depend on that, mix it in with your ultimate to knock her up, but you don't really have that ability to control her. So they actually will go for Diana, which we did see Alex Each play against Giants yesterday, and it worked out really well for them. I know Extra has played her as well, and it's also not a bad champion to pick up, especially if you go a little bit tanky. You have pretty much triple AP on your team, depending on how Morden builds his Elise. But when they go in, you have the ability to pull them in and lock them down as well. You have the ability to disrupt their engage.
So who are you fancying for this one? Obviously, Giants, yes, they recorded that fantastic, to be honest, win over Gambit Gaming, their second upset against Gambit this season. Dragonborns, as you said, they're currently on, I think the word slump is, you know, not quite as heavy as a word that we really need at this point. 0 for 7 in their last 7 games. bad record. They need to start to step things up.
Yeah, they really do. And to be honest, I don't really think this is the composition to do that with, because they're lacking on a lot of damage. We talked about this yesterday with the Wolves versus SK game, and the Wolves had pretty much Graves and Orianna for all of their damage, and they just weren't able to do anything with it. They're running into that same little bit of a problem. And on the other side, you have Rumble, you have Elise who does percent damage. You have Elise who does percent damage. You have Diana, who's very damage intensive right now. She's been picked up quite a bit. And Misfortune on top of that. So you have a really strong team for Giants, a lot of damage, a lot of control in the fights. And I'm curious to see how well they actually pull it off, but overall compositions, I'll have to give it to them.
So we're going to get into the game then, as we said time and time again, but really is the case. We're moving in towards the end of the first half of the season, and these teams need to step things up. Giants, now they've gone about it very decently. We're recording another win against Gambit yesterday, but the problem is for Dragonborns here, new lineup means new relationships to build within the team themselves. A strict practice regime, to be honest, is all you can really do to get that really moving. They said to us last week when we were in Lille that these two aren't full-time replacements at this point. It's not sure that they will definitely be in this seat come the end of the first split. So we'll have to see exactly how they play.
I still actually just question the timing of it, because you're so close to the end of that first half of the season. You know your spot for LCS is really up for grabs at this point. Why not try to stick with Munos, stick with Spontex, maybe work out the communication problems you were having, and then at the halfway point, if you retain your spot in LCS, then switch your roster up, because then they have the ability to look for a new team as well, kind of thing.
So should we get into the game here in just a second? Looks like Yamato kind of just having a couple of issues getting into things. You can see there the focus on the Dragonborns' faces, which is not something that we're totally used to seeing from them. They're one of those teams that are more laughing and joking as they get ready to go into their games. But I'm sure coming into this week, they've done a lot of work with Yamato and with Dexter to get them melded into their roles in the team. They seem to have really said, okay guys, it's time to step it up. We have to take points.
And I mean, that's a thing though. Like, they've only had a couple of weeks to really work on this. Before they actually went to the LCS qualifiers, they were already a team for quite a while. So they have that synergy already built into the team. And then we saw Maluna come in, and you saw how much it actually affected the team, how much it really changed up their synergy, and how long it took them, which is about 2 weeks to really get in the swing of things. But now change up 2 members, you can only imagine just it take 2 or 3 weeks to kind of get that worked out. But like you're saying, hopefully with the regiments that they've been putting in, they've been able to work those kinks out.
So let's get into game then. Dragonborns versus Giants here. Week 7 of the European LCS. An important game for both sides. Jason, talk us through level 1.
Well, looking at both teams so far, I would have to give the level 1 over to Giants, as we actually do see them go for Invader right now. They have a lot of control because of the grasping roots they can use. You have Diana who can pull them in if you really want to get in that position, but you also have the Cocoon to come out of Morden, and even Samix who can slow them down. So they really have the damage, and they have the control for a nice level 1 engage. And Dragonborns, they're going to have to kind of just ward up and kind of let an invade happen if it does indeed, and then maybe try to go for a counter invade.
Well, right now we can see that Dragonborns are moving their way north. Yamato Cannon and Dexter in position in the tri-bush. There's a ping coming down by Giants on toward that top side of the ring, the river. But Beta is around there. They need to be very, very careful how they do this here, Giants. If they face check, they're going to be dead. There's no doubt about that one. Actually, they're going to spot now. Dragonborn's coming in. Jimbone's positioning there up by the golems on the top side will reveal that positioning.
I think that was a good read on Dragonborn's side. It looked like they expected a lane swap to happen, which we're in fact seeing, and they were potentially trying to catch the AD carry and support in the top lane of Giants to go for that first blood, but they spot that, ended up backing out, and I'm curious to see if we're going to see another lane switch happen to kind of counter that same thing happening. We do see an invade already on the bottom side of the map by the Giants, and they are spotted by a ward, but it looks like Dragonborns won't really react to it.
Yeah, it's a nice little start, to be honest, for Giants coming into this one. They're going to take the Wraiths away. We'll see if they cover their own side of the jungle here, so that they, quite frankly, just gain that advantage. Actually, they're going to be taking away the red buff here as well with Samix and Morden. Yamato Cannon is actually going to be coming in straight in towards that brush, and that's going to be enough to scare Giants away.
Oh, I was like looking at it, I was like, is it? Because he kind of stuck around for a while, but in the end, from that invade, what it did, it held off Babetta and Jimbone's getting a nice level advantage over the Dragonborn side by stopping that double golem to be done. That means either team both didn't get the early bit of XP you can get from those camps, so they won't have an advantage in any different lane. And that was overall just a good play by Dragonborns, but a better read by Giants.
Well, Dragonborns now have gone up towards the red buff on the Dragonborn side of the map. Dexter is going to smite that one away, so he's going to take that. And obviously earlier on we saw Morden being forced away from taking the Dragonborn's red buff, so we'll see how he reacts to this one. Obviously by the time that he goes in towards that top side of his jungle, it'll be too late for him to realize things. We may even see Jarvan getting involved here on the top side of the map there, as Mover is going to come around. Dexter coming in. Hosan has just not really reacted to this one whatsoever. He was farming away. They managed to get the knock up in onto Jimbones. There's the exhaust as well. Flash being burnt out of Jimbones. That's an important start to burn that summoner.
Oh, and Mover is actually being chased out right now. It does get ignited as well, but that just seemed like a little bit of miscommunication. If it was a tricky thing, because the mini wave was pushed into Dragonborn's side, so if he did leave, then he would lose a lot of experience, but he could have potentially gotten the first blood. So it's a really weird trade-off, but in the end, he still gets the XP he needs. He forces Jimbones to back and forces him to miss a lot of experience and gold as well.
So Morden, upon seeing Jarvan getting into that top lane, spotting that he had the red buff on, has gone over and stolen away that Dragonborn dread. So good reactionary play there coming out of the jungle. Actually has left one list behind in the camp there, so that's going to be a bit of an annoyance to Jarvan coming in, but it's also going to mean that they don't have the timer down for the next time here, Giants.
And I'm curious to see, actually I don't believe Giants did realize that their own red was fully taken, like for instance leaving 1 minion up. We do see sit in the middle though, Shusha getting very low.
Yeah, Shusha very low. There's the Ignite coming down. First blood comes in. It's Morden that picks that one up. Dexter is a little bit of danger here as well, but Extermin and Morden both very low, not wanting to put too much on the line in that one. Good first blood though.
And Shusha, he wanted to leave that flash up as long as possible. He wanted to potentially save it, but with that red buff damage, with the minions hit, or the spiderlings hitting him, he just took a little bit too much, had to back out, and that's really bad for him. He's not level 6 at this point. He can easily be ganked again, and he's very vulnerable to another gank.
Yeah, and Morden, it's been a bit of a pain in the rear end so far. You're taking the Wraiths away once again. They still don't know, by the way, that that red buff has one lizard left in the camp, which Jarvan is going to find out now. And you can almost hear that, oh, that's annoying, as he comes through and almost misses the fact that it was still there in the end. But let's see if he makes his presence felt. As Morden, sorry, it's Babetta. He's going to land the grasping roots there on towards Mover. Will he keep going in this one? Jimbones and Hosan going head-to-head here. Elise is coming in. Are they going to be able to hold them back? Mover is in a lot of danger. He's, of course, already flashed earlier on. Hosan, though, is going to take down Jimbones, but now Mover taking a lot of damage here from this one. Can he heal through? Morden comes in, gets the kill, but now Hosan could try and chase himself through there. Babetta puts the plants down, and that should stop it. But Morden's not done yet, maybe.
Hosan is just so damn good at using that barrier. He baits it in perfectly every single time. You saw right there, he was able to do that yet again, able to pick up a kill on Jimbones, and it was, oh!
Yeah, that was another manly scream, and almost a death for Morden in that top lane as the Mystic shot manages to land there. Jason's been teaching me how the scream of the man works.
You're my young apprentice, you're doing quite well.
So, that silence shouldn't have been as awkward as it seemed. But 2-1 we're at right now, 7.7 to 6.9 thousand gold. With Giants having a nice team. And I tell you what, I've been impressed with Morden so far. The presence that he's made felt, the way that he's counter-jungled that bottom side of Dragonborn's jungle has been really, really strong so far.
Yeah, he's been very impressive this game. The one thing that worries me, though, is the 2 kills he has. I mean, it's not bad to go to the jungle, obviously. To let the kill go versus taking it, but it's not the ideal situation. You need to get it onto other lanes to get them fed, because he's not the one who usually carries the team. It's usually their AP carry in the mid lane, which he hasn't really given too much attention to. Obviously, he's been there once and helped get that first blood. But, you know, in the end, it's going to work out for them either way. We do have a 4-man gank happening into this top lane, and this could be very bad for Dragonborns.
This could also turn out to be bad for Giants, so if they're not careful about things, Dexter has come around here. Are they going to keep going? The Cocoon comes out, but ends up missing.
Shen is 6, by the way.
Going to be blocked, yeah, so Shen can get involved here if he wants to, but in the end, just having Jarvan there has stopped that 4-man gank from happening completely.
Yeah, I think they looked at it as, hey, our mid lane's being pushed, and we could potentially lose 1 or 2 members here, especially with that Shen ulti being up. So let's just back away, take our advantage that we still have, and keep trying to push that instead of potentially giving the game away.
So let's have a look then at the as we hear. I was like, what? Who's going back? Okay, so it says real up in the top lane. Yeah. Right now at the CS, 50 to 44. Shusha actually going to get a lot of damage coming in onto him here. Exit was charmed up, but not quite in tower range, which could have changed the swing of how that one have gone. Shusha probably would have gone in there with the help of the tower hit.
And Extra didn't take like any damage from Shusha right there, I have to say. That was kind of impressive. He must be running a lot of magic resist as he's sitting at 50 at this point. Blue buff is being started over to Dexter, and Morden's trying to come in for a steal.
Yeah, Morden again is going to come
he's
around
gonna get
for this one. He is going to smite that one away. And Dexter, I tell you what, he's not having a good time of it today.
No, he's not. He keeps being invaded constantly. And the Dragonborns, like we were talking about before, Dexter has to step up for the team, but Dragonborns has to give him that ability to. If they can't protect him in the jungle and protect him from getting the buffs, getting a nice early start, then he's going to be just hurting the entire game.
Yeah, we'll see how that all goes. I mean, at least he's behind on farmers. We are going to see Sermi coming here on towards Yamato Cannon. What can he do? Actually, will flash away. Equalizer goes down. Yamato Cannon in all kinds of trouble. Sermi's going to finish that one off. Look how low Samuk's got, but low is not dead, I'm afraid. As Dexter does come around, but he's going to be far too late to be catching him.
I kind of like this play that Giants is doing because Extra's been around the map quite a bit. He's been in the top lane previously, now down at the bottom lane. And what that does is it opens Morden up in the middle lane to get as much farm as possible. Since he already has those 2 kills, he can pick up a couple of items early on, maybe get a little bit tanky, maybe get a little bit of damage, and then take that advantage and roll with it.
See Pink Ward down from Babetta here on towards that top tri-bush, which may indicate that the Spider's going to get involved again here on that top lane. Obviously, he is behind in farm, but that's because he's been in the lane so often and spent so much time running to the other side of the map to steal away them buffs from Dexter at this point. But they're pushed up on towards the turret there. We can see there are a lot of Pink Wards down by both sides on the around that top lane areas. Mover is going to get hit there by the Grasping Roots. Plants doing a decent amount of damage to him as well, so they need to be really, really careful about this one. We do have the barrier back by Hosan, so we've seen how well he's baited out those fights with that when he's got it up. Yeah, I think if he can dodge that Grasping Roots, he should be able to beat Jimbones in a head-on-head fight, but we'll see if that actually happens, especially with the barrier that you just pointed out. And in the bottom lane, Rumble just returned with the Haunting Guys. So he's already 20, now 30 CS ahead at this point against Yamato Cannon, who only has 46 magic resist. Samix currently has 25 penetration right now. He's just going to dominate him, but we do see Ari coming in for a gank here. Yeah, we're going to see the taunt landing here. Samix in a lot of trouble. The Chown came in as well. He's going to try and flash over the wall. Not just try, he will flash away from that one. The Ignite was running, and Samix just walks away, life intact. In the meantime, Extermin pushing mid-tunnels. We are going to see, wow, the Crescendo coming out there. They tried to get involved there with the bullet time as well. Not quite enough damage from either side.
It looks like Jimbo's actually stopped his bullet time there, if I'm not mistaken, on accident. I didn't see a full channel go off on it, but still a great Zyra ultimate. But Beta did that actually very well against Gambit Gaming. Every ulti was so spot on. I think we even gave him the MVP in that game for him, and he showed right there that he's just as good as Zyra as support as Exter is in the mid lane with her.
We see wards down on the curved bush there. They were actually stood on top of one ward from Dragonborns. They're headed up towards this top lane right now. Hosan actually coming out there, gets a auto attack on towards Extermin, but they're going to go in for this one. Chen going to get involved here as well as Stan United, but Mover will actually end up dying. There's Jarvan diving in. He will pick up his fortune. Extermin now in trouble as well as he brings up the shield. He was outside of the Jarvan ultimate, but Jarvan gets a double kill anyway. He was helping.
He was helping. I think he might have gotten stuck there on that too, so he couldn't run away. But that was a great turn by Dragonborns, a great Shen ulti as well. They will be able to secure this tower. The question is, can Semith get the one on the bottom and pretty much cancel that? Looks like he will. But will Dragonborns keep pushing this top lane, since we do have those 2 members coming back alive right now? And it looks like they will.
Yeah, they're going to keep going from this one. Morden got those double buffs on here. Babetta going to be back up as well. There was a siege minion in there to help things out as the Grasping Roots will land on towards Yamato Cannon. He's not taking too much damage, but you can see that Morden already hurts, and he's not really got that much, to be honest.
Yeah, that's just the way Elise works. That's why she had to be tweaked around a little bit, because she's just so strong with those flat percents. And we do have Semix in the bottom. Oh, Morden just gonna walk right by Hosan and Dexter. He actually catches Dexter though with that ward.
Yeah, Hosan, a great teammate that he is, carries on going back there completely, leaves Dexter alone. Dexter though, of course, is Jarvan. He can throw the flag down and slides away to safety.
I was sitting there expecting like him to stop backing and go for that kill right there, but in the end, it worked out. Jarvan's just so slippery. And in the meantime, Semix was able to get a chunk of damage on this bottom turret, taking it down to below half health right now. And it looks like Giants will respond by trying to take this top turret on top of it.
Yeah, there we see True Shot Barrage coming through. That's going to get rid of pretty much the entire wave of minions. But plants are there. They've got 3 men here, Giants. And they're going to do a lot of damage, if not finish off this top outer turret here. And we can see Ezreal starting to back away. Diana did come up to try and get involved, but Giants will regain the turret lead at 2-1.
And Exter, like you're just saying, try to come towards that top side. Was spotted by that ward, but he's He's been roaming around this map quite well, and yet he's still ahead in CS, and he's ahead in kills at this point, which just shows how well he's doing. We do have Dragon actually being started by Dexter right now. It won't actually be spotted by Giants at this point, but all 5 members of Dragonborns are there as we do see the ward finally go down. But will it be contested? Because Jimbo's in the top side, Morden is nowhere near, Babetta's nowhere near, and Dragonborns can probably take this for free.
Yeah, I think Dragonborns are going to get the team kill here. Take down our first Dragon of the game. No reaction from Jason, trying to bait that one out, just like the barrier of Hosan as bullet time comes through there on towards Shushe, but honestly, not really doing much yet.
Yeah, I mean, you even saw the ultimate out of Rumble come down, trying to steal it away, but it didn't do anything, unfortunately. So that's 2 ultis wasted, but Dragonborn's not having that Ahri ultimate up anymore. I don't think they're going to try to commit on any team fights anytime soon. We do have Shushe visiting that top lane, trying to get some farm back and try to catch up somewhat here. But Rumble, he's taken up. We talked about Samix as being the highlighted player, and he's showing he's a really good Rumble player. He has a huge lead over his counterpart, and he's going to hurt with those sword boots and that Haunting Guys combo.
Yeah, good amounts of penetration coming out from that. Hosan here going to be chased down. Not quite landing in to push through for the kill. Movement was there as well. Of course, he does have Crescendo available, so they probably would have been safe from that one. Hosan would have been able to escape. So where are we in the game? 18.7 to 17.8 thousand gold. We can see Samix waiting in the wings as they do manage to land in on towards Hosan. Can he get away? There's a Crescendo. Repel comes down. Morden going to pick up the kill. Will they keep going in here towards Mover? Actually, I think they could have got that a little bit low on mana, was Diana, but I think they could have killed Mover there as well.
So that's a great play by Morden. That cocoon all he's going to need, especially the CS he's missing out on right now, you're going to pretty much set yourself off pretty well for the rest of the game.
And the Zyra grasping roots, to be honest, Jason, the last time we saw him play Zyra, this time they've been a lot better.
Nice. Nice. I like that one. That was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, we've seen actually a lot of supports over the past couple of days have problems landing certain abilities or certain ultimates, but I mean, he's not one of them right now. He's only landing those grasping roots to really step the entire fight. Allows everyone else on his team just to get in there. Not to mention his ultimate to do work while the rest of his team can, pull them with Diana. Yeah, the Rumble ultimate to throw that across them or prevent them from retreating. Then the bullet time coming in. They have a lot of AoE damage that they can just dominate Dragonborns with.
Well, bit of a quiet period now, obviously, after that Dragon was taken down. There's Ahri starting to catch right back up here now in the farm. 99 to 101. As I say that, they are actually even. Exterminate just going to be coming back from picking up his blue buff. Will get back on the farm trail. We should mention there is a difference between the AD carries there. 2 assists for both of them. A kill for Hosan. 4.1 to 4.3 thousand gold. So it's actually pretty close in there with what they've managed to take down globally. But if we look at the CS, 103 to 91, so a decent little lead for him. In terms of items between the 2 AD carries, we saw Jimbones' bullet time not doing too much damage earlier on. That's when he had the Vamp Scepter and those Berserker Greaves in there. Only now added a BF sword into that. When you compare that over towards Ezreal, also got the Berserker Greaves and Vamp Scepter, but gone for 2 Doran's Blades plus the pickaxe.
Yeah, it looks like Jimbones is going for a Bloodthirster with these item setup he has, and Hosan probably an Infinity's Edge onto his Ezreal, which we've seen happen yesterday. It's kind of a weird bit of a build, but they're not really going for poke, they're just going for that damage when they get in there. They're going to need all the damage they could possibly get. And we'll have to assume that's why he's going that kind of build. But we do see that Haunting Guys on Morden, so they have a lot of penetration already on pretty much 3 members of their team. And Dragonborns can't really build a Mad Resist in time to kind of defend against it. We do see, Yamada Ken, he finally has a Spirit Visage. Ooh, Dexter is looking like he wants to actually go for an engage here, but they don't really have the backup they need.
Oh, Yamato Cannon actually taking a lot of damage here from Samix. We are going to see Shushe coming into this one. Equalizer comes down and Samix turns right around onto Yamato Cannon. He's going to be burning away there from the Ignite, but, well, he's not going to be able to pick up the kill from it, and that's a nice little pickup for Dragonborns.
Yeah, it's a great use of Ahri ultimate there just to catch up quick enough to really lock him down and pick up that kill to really
flash in
kind of hold him back.
Shushe did flash in there.
Flash with the ulti just to make sure to land that charm and really set up the entire kill. I mean, it was a lot of abilities used for it, and summoners as well, but it was worth it in the end. However, Giants picking up the turret in the middle lane, still have that nice about 2,000 gold lead right now, and they have a lot of kills onto Diana, and that's a really key factor that we're going to see really make an impact as the game goes on.
Yeah, it's been very impressive the last couple of days. As we see DFG gone straight in there, early first DFG actually for Ahri, rushed straight into that.
I'm looking at that item, and it just doesn't seem like an exceptional first item to pick up. I mean, it gives you a nice bit of cooldown reduction, gives you obviously a lot of ability power, and then also the active is really nice for it. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it because you can only use that obviously on one person, but you're going to need to be able to take down 4 people on the enemy team. That does a lot of damage. So who do you prioritize it with?
Yeah, that's the trouble that you're going to have. I mean, you can't get rid of Morden before he repels, that's for sure. And I think once you hit him with the DFG, he's gone. He's going to be straight up in the air. So we'll see how they go about going for that one there. As we saw Yamato Okanen just pushing out this top lane. Was pushed right onto that inner turret for a little while there, and Samix is going to come back and push it all the way in as well. I think 1 versus 1, Yamato can't really stand and play against Samix at this point.
Yeah, there's just no way. There's too big of a lead, too big of an item difference on top of that. And we do see the zoners actually picked up for Exeter, so we were talking before, they have 4 very heavy damage dealers, but there's no real solid tank on their team. So it looks like each of the AP carriers are actually going to take a semi-tanky item and then use that to kind of mitigate the damage and spread it around the team, because we have the Giants belt, most likely a Rylez or a Warmox for Morden coming in, and I'm assuming the Rylez would come in for Samix.
Yeah, I think so as well. Makes a lot more sense. Dexter, yeah, is going to be doing his red buff. But will Diana come around? Actually, he's going to be waiting here from the side, and actually is going to be able to steal that one away. That was a nice play from Extermin. Did he? He had Smite available as well.
Yeah, and I don't know. That's just how the game. Well, that's just how the game's kind of going. They lost control of their jungle. If you look at the vision they currently have for Giants, they just have the entire enemy jungle warded up right now, and Dragonborns just has pretty much 2 wards down. Dragon is being started yet again, and that's why they're all grouped up there, because they knew it was coming up very soon. But it looks like they should be able to lock this down. However, Dexter has his smite up. He could make a play here.
Yeah, let's see if we can get in for it, as we are going to see Giants take down the Dragon without really anything happening there. The True Shot Barrage came across Jarvan, not wanting to sacrifice maybe a death for the chance at finishing off that Dragon there right at the end. Either way, nicely done by Giants. They obviously lost out on the first Dragon, weren't really able to contest it, but they had vision most crucially, and therefore the timer down.
Yeah, and I can understand why they don't really want to go for it, especially when they're this far behind at this point. You know, if they go in and lose a couple of members, they're going to fall that much further behind, and they can't afford to do that. Their lineup is very tanky, but they're lacking on a lot of damage, and they can't get really far behind. Oh, I thought that was actually stolen away, but she was able to secure it away.
That was the equalizer coming down from max range from Samix. In the meantime, Extermin continuing to push out here this bottom lane. And actually, someone's going to have to reply to that one. Morden and Jimbones here are in that middle lane. They're going to be pushing the pressure off of their own turret, and Extermin will back away from that bottom lane. AD carries, we now have that Bloodthirster finished up for Misfortune. BF Sword now added in for Ezreal.
And it looks like he actually will go for that Infinity's Edge, but then again, he's already a full item down. We do see Extra being chased down by Shushe, but a nice flash should help him escape here, and he should be fine.
And there was the last charge on Shushe's ulti. As Extermin does turn around, maybe just add a little bit of doubt to the miners. There is a crescendo coming on towards Babetta. Dexter going to come from the side. True Shot Barrage comes across. Strangle Thorns will knock Dexter up in the air. And can he actually get through here? Hosan is still chasing. He will back away as Morden comes in from that side. Misfortune has managed to get away as well. So a lot used there for not a lot in terms of results.
They committed 3 ultimates right there, not to mention the flash out of mover to go for that kill. Didn't get in the end, and all Babetta had to do was blow his flash, use his ultimate, as well as Jimbones to flash away. They had Stemic split push in the top lane, and they're really controlling this game at this point, trying to make Dragonborns react to them. But every time Dragonborns does, Giants is able to escape with their lives.
So Morden again coming in from the side, waiting, trying to add it into that kill total of 202. Should probably mention that Leandris has now been completed by Rumble. Got a blasting one plus those sorcerer shoes. He's going to be a pretty painful Rumble, especially if Shen tries to go 1 versus 1 into him there. Obviously that Spirit Visage, a good item I think in this case.
Yeah, not to mention the cooldown reduction on it. I mean, gives him magic resist against 3 AP players.
Oh, Hosan getting caught out here by Extermin, who's going to get in there. Actually, barrier going to be used. Can he get the final hit off? No, not quite. Hosan will back away, and again, barrier saving his life.
He might not be able to back away extra, though. He's actually being chased down by Ahri and Jarvan, and I think they might be able to catch up to him.
Well, Ahri going to use that ultimate here to try and get in there. Shield coming up, nice and Extermin, yeah, nicely done. Dodges off towards the minions. He's going to be safe, and look at this, Giants starting off Baron pretty early in the game, to be honest, from them. We'll see if they're able to go through with that one. Yamato Cannon did spot and give the game away from them. As Babetta going to go through there as well. Actually getting dangerously far away from his teammates, but in the end, no one was able to make him pay.
That Baron, it was a good idea in theory, but the thing is, if they were ever spotted at all doing it, they would have to back away because every member would be so low at that point.
Yeah.
And a great timing by Shen to actually walk through that path, but He might potentially get caught in this top lane if Babetta lands a nice grasping root, and then he doesn't, and we have a 2-man push on the mid lane at Dragonborns, and they might be able to secure their second turn of the game.
The flag goes down there on towards Morden. Trying to put in as much damage as they can. You're keeping the pressure high on that one. In the meantime, Shushe actually pushing this bottom lane through. Maybe able to take this story, not in this wave, especially with Extermin coming in to deal with this one as the charm landing onto the minion just in front of him. Actually flash use here by Shushe to get himself away. And there's going to be no kill, at least for now there.
Shushe does have Ignite up, he does have ulti up and DFG, and Exter probably realizing that he's going to back away instead. He doesn't really have anything up in terms of an escape mechanism. The Dragonborns are still trying to push down this middle lane. They have that bottom turret very low right now, and they could really use this gold as well. They give them a nice little bit of money to really pick up a couple of items. As we do, instead of having the Infinity Edge picked up, we have Hosen going for that Bloodthirster because that damage that's coming out of the Giants, he has to sustain somehow.
And there is Samus trying to catch in towards Yamato Kan, who's just going to shadow dash himself to safety. We should add out that the last Whisper being finished up here as a second item for Misfortune. Good pick up against Jarvan, I think.
Yeah, and especially the armor from the flag. The only thing is, I'm kind of... Well, actually, no, that makes sense, because Jarvan's going to be an interface, and so is Shen, so he has to deal with him somehow, and with that, it's going to help that possibility on top of that. He's not really, doesn't really have the ability to go into the back lane against Hosan or Shushe, because that's all about Morden and Exter doing it. And then you have Samix to protect Jim Bones as well, Babetta, so they have a really nice setup to keep Jim Bones alive, as well as dive into the back line of Dragonborns.
See here again, trying to steal away that jungle as they go. Now red buff going to be given over towards Jim Bones. They've got vision, thanks to that ward that they put there by the Wraiths. Well, that will be cleared out by the Oracle that has now been picked up here by Mover. And now when you're behind every Oracle like that, you've got to make it count.
Yeah, I'd say it's well needed though, because we talked about earlier how Giants had great control over the Dragonborn's jungle. So we have Exter going down into the bottom. I don't think anything's gonna really happen off this, but you need that control back. And that's the way to do it, is with that Oracle, really make it so they have to face check you as well instead of you doing it. But we do have Shushe, might be getting caught in the top lane.
Yeah, he could be in a little bit of trouble from this one. He's actually going to have to use his ultimate to dash away from that one. And the bullet time was used as well from Jimbo's. Probably thought in the last couple of seconds of channel on it there, he could pick up that kill, but wasn't to be for him. Dragonborns come around to try and defend this inner turret on the top lane. Diana had pushed that bottom lane out, but again, Giants in this round of buffs have managed to steal both the red and the blue.
I think Shushe's only had one blue this entire game so far, and with no mana regen item really built, he needs that. Not to mention the cooldown reduction, where he's going to depend on those charms, and that ultimate, which he's been using quite frequently as a defensive tool more than an offensive tool. So with that blue being taken away, with the red constantly being taken away on top of that, Giants is actually doing a great job of just strangling the Dragonborns and any gold income they can get.
I have to say that Samax, we kind of highlighted him early on about maybe not getting enough recognition for the solid play that he's been putting through. Look at him at this stage, well, 185 CS. That lead has been closing a little bit here by Shen. It was a lot bigger earlier on, 7,300 to 7,100. If you have a look down his items as well, he's just picked up that Giant's Belt to add into the blasting one, going towards that Crystal Scepter. Already got the Leandra's Torment in there. He's a potent player right now, that's for sure.
And especially when he hits level 16 on top of that. He's about halfway there. We have Exter, who has recently hit it. So they have two key members with that level 16 ultimate, which is really going to turn the tides of the fight when you have only a level 15 Shushe. 16 for Shen obviously is nice because it gives you that extra bit of shield, but it's not as impactful as the damage that will come out of Giants.
So, Dragon Dance going to be started here on the bottom side of the map as Shushe finally gets bored of not having a blue buff this almost entire game, and he's going to get himself into that one. We'll see if he's able to pick that one up. Actually, it's just started to reset itself a little bit, caught it just in time there, and we'll be able to pick that one up. So that could prove to be crucial as Yamato Cannon continues to push up this bottom lane. Jimbo's actually right in the middle as well.
And Morden, he had a smite up. He could have taken that blue away, but he looked at it as both ways. If I smite that, our Dragonborns might be able to rush the dragon and take it away from us. But we do have Jimbo's pushing the mid lane as Dragonborns trying to go for an engage on a Morden, and Shen still pushing the top lane as it looks like all 5 members of Giants will come in for an engage.
Yeah, here we go. Extermin going to dive straight down on towards Ezreal there. Dexter actually is getting isolated at the back here. He puts a Cataclysm down. Jimbo's, well, oh, he actually did manage to get that final auto attack off Yamato Cannon. Cannon now going to be the next bonus. Everyone is really, really low in this situation, apart from Jim Bones. Let's see how far he can go in this one. Shushi off to the side, going to be dashed onto by Extermin. His charm landed. Extermin manages to get away. Where is Jim Bones going to go from this one? Maybe more importantly, the barrier is not up for Hosan at this point. He is going to be getting himself through, gets the slow down. Where's the last auto attack? There it is. Shushi in trouble, but he's landed the charm, turns it around, manages to take down Morden, but can he get away from the misfortune? What's Shushi's plan here? He's actually going to sit in the bush, lands the charm, but, well, it's just one simple auto attack to finish it off.
Unfortunately, couldn't see the minimap right there because if he went up just a little bit, he probably could have killed Extra as well on top of that, but still, in the end, a pretty even fight, to be honest, right there. Dragon was not taken. It looks like Giants is going to have to back out really quick and try to rush towards it as Dragonborns is already making their way over there. And the kill spread, because Jim Bones came out pretty big right there. He's now 3-2-2. You have Extra who's 3-1-2, and you have Morden who's 2-1-2. So you have a lot of kills over to the targets you need them to be on. It's even the same kind of route over on the Dragonborn side. However, Dexter has the 2 kills, and Shen really doesn't have anything just yet. Still, that Shen ulti right there completely saved Hosan for the beginning of that fight.
Yeah, and Shen's going to be really tanky at this stage with that Spirit Visage in there, with the Warmogs, with that second Giant spell going up there as well. So he's in a good position at this stage. If you look down the AD carries, Phantom Dancer is now done for Misfortune after those nice few kills picked up. Also, the fact that Shushi got the kill put him on the killing spree, and then he got the 432 gold for it when he took him down right at the end there. So we are going to see Dragon started off here by Giants, and nothing that they can do about it. True Shot Barrage came through as well, but that was just a little bit too late. Nice pickup for Giants there. 8-7 in the leading kills, but more importantly, that gold lead is quite big at this point.
And their items have been quite stagnant lately on top of that. They haven't really picked up anything major just except that Phantom Dancer you pointed out on a Jim Bones. As Dragonborns, they're building up their Aegis, trying to go for that Runic Bulwark just to out-tank Giants and then potentially outlast them in a fight.
Well, I'm not sure if that's going to happen. There's the Cocoon lands onto Yamato Cannon. So he's not the target that they want to go for. By far the tankiest man at this stage on that Dragonborns lineup. But Giants, you know, we said they've done things right here, but one thing that they've not really done is push that advantage now and turned it into inner turrets.
Yeah, that's actually completely right, because if you look over on Dragonborn's side, they were able to get the top turret just from minions alone. They have the advantage. I don't know if they feel like they have a super advantage over the other team. Even though it's only about 2,000, they still have quite a big one. And that's why they're so hesitant to engage. We'd have Morden getting caught right there, and look at that damage that Shushi is finally able to put out.
Oh, Shen actually coming in. There's the equalizer going down. Crescendo came across Giants, but there's the bullet time. That's 2 kills picked up. Yamato Cannon suddenly not that tanky when there's 5 Giants members hammering away on him, and that's 3 kills. And it looks like they're going to turn around and head towards Baron. There's no vision of it right now from Dragonborns either.
See, right there in that fight might be one thing we just see within the team of Dragonborns. You saw Yamato Cannon go in as the rest of the team backed away, and that right there is just due to, I guess, the time with the team and how well you know each other. And that might have been a big problem. It might have been a huge turning point as well, because now Giants picking up that Baron are going to have a huge advantage over the other team, and not to mention they each have about 1,500 gold each to spend.
Yeah, actually, Dragonborns making the best out of a bad situation there. Managed to get rid of that outer turret in the middle lane. But what can they do after that? We can see the vision from both sides, honestly, is not that big at this point. But then we look at the overall gold. Look at the difference between the AD carries, 11,300 to 8,800. That is a big lead right now. Between the AP, not too much, to be honest with you. 10,300 to 9,700. Rumble in the top lane is actually falling behind now in the CS. That's basically because Shen's been spending his time pushing those lanes out. But in terms of overall gold, it's around about 1,000 between those two. Some big items being picked up here though. Death Cap for Ari, Death Cap for Diana as well, which will totally cancel out. Now Rumble and Elise both picking up that Crystal Scepter as well for this next fight. And there is a locket of the Iron Solari for Zyra.
I think those Crystal Scepters that were just picked up is a really key point, because that just makes them so much more tanky. They haven't been bursted down just yet, but with that Baron buff, with the Crystal Scepters, they're going to have so much more control in the fight. They can take so much more damage, and not to mention Extra will be able to get in there with that Death Cap to just blow someone up. Hosen's been the focus of that every time, and he's being forced to, or the team's been forced to Shen ulti him. He's being forced to,
He stole it.
He stole it away.
Yeah, he managed to get it there with a two-shot barrage. Nicely done.
I almost screamed like a girl right there, but I held back. It's like, wait, don't do it.
I need to hear it, Jason. You know, I need to have examples to get mine as best as I can out there into the open. As Extermin's like, steal my blue, I'm going to have you wraith. Totally fair trade-off. And actually, maybe even push through. I mean, they've got that Baron buff on. This is when they need to get those inner turrets down.
Yeah, it still seems like they're being a little bit hesitant at this point. I mean, Yamato can keep split pushing that bottom lane if he wants to, while the rest of the Giants kind of, forms up and start to push a different lane. Just have Samix pushing that top lane right now, while the rest of the members of the Giants are pushed down the middle. But oh, actually, we do see an engage happening right here. Sorry.
We're going to see him going in. Crescendo comes down as well. There's a Strangle Thorn's going to not move it up into the air. Is Extermin going quite low? Cameraman doesn't know where he's going because there's action all over the place in this one. But it's a kills raining down for Giants in the end. There's a double for Rumble. They're going to try and track down Yamato Cannon. The Cocoon lands onto him. And there is the finisher as he tries to taunt them. And Giants didn't lose a single man just when it looked bad for them with Extermin going very, very low. They picked every single one of them off. Ace for Giants, and they may look to finish the game right here and right now.
Yeah, and we just point out one thing in that fight is that we saw Jimbones and actually Hosen go head-to-head. Jimbones got him down to about a third lane right off the bat just by himself, and that completely turned the tides of the fight as they were able to focus him down one by one. So Giants will be able to take this win. And it was very well played overall. It really deserved it.
Yeah, solid win from Giants, following on their good form after their win yesterday against Gambit Gaming. Continued misery is for Dragonborns at this stage of the season. They have lost another one in a row. That's 8 games now without a win. Something's going to have to change from their side of things, that's for sure. But Giants maybe on the up from this point. Win against Gambit may have just inspired them to go the step extra that they needed to win these games. So that's enough from us here for the Caster Desk. We'll be back a little bit later on with our final match of the day. But first of all, we're going to go to the analysis desk with Freak, Quickshot, and Crepo.
Thank you, Joseph, Joe Miller, and of course we have a pretty good game we just saw. It was close for a good long time, a little bit of extra pressure there from the Giants. Crepo, what happened there?
Basically, it was a game of catch from both teams. Like, they both tried to catch each other out, tried to play really aggressive, and you saw a lot of fights happening, a lot of catches, but the main thing that separated the